Joined by Sonke Gender Justice Network.
What we always say about our police is that people are scared to be victimized.
Part of our advocacy is to say to government that the high rates of gender-based violence in South Africa are unacceptable.
We are sending that message.
So welcome to the Sonke Gender Justice Show right here. Thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us today. So on our first episode, of course, we spoke to Bafana Kamalo, one of the co-founders, directors at Sonke Gender Justice, and had a great conversation with him. But we are heading up towards the 24th of November to the 6th of December. And sorry, you may be asking, okay, but what is this all about, Stephen Taylor? What do you mean? Well, it is very important. 16 days of activism against the abuse of women and children. It is so very important, and I'm happy to see that the Western Cape government, of course, has put together a children's commission and appointed a children's commissioner in the Western Cape, and very important and a very crucial role that person plays in, of course, protecting the rights of children in the province, and hope that we can see more of that across the country, that each province ideally should have a children's commissioner to look out for the rights of children. But also, why not a women's commissioner? Why don't we have that? We have national government, of course, we have the deputy minister or the minister in the presidency for women, children, and people with disabilities. But are they doing enough? Maybe not. Maybe they should be doing more. So as we head in towards 16 days of activism against the abuse of women and children, domestic violence, once again, talked about, but not really much being done to kind of stop it, or to get justice for the many people that do suffer on a daily basis. So I remember having a conversation a few years ago on a radio show that I was doing with Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics, talking about this very subject, this very topic. And not much has changed since then. Of course, we look at the children that have been, murdered, kidnapped over the years. If we look at the brutal attacks on women, the abuse that women and children face daily, it is a second pandemic. Of course, we've had COVID-19, we are in COVID-19, and it is a second pandemic, and it's important that we speak about this and do more to protect the rights of women and children. So Sonke Gender Justice is doing just that. They do some amazing work all year round. So make sure that you are supporting them, and make sure that you are getting involved with what they are doing. And let's get into a conversation with one of the members from Sonke Gender Justice, of course, talking to Anna and finding out more about her role at Sonke Gender Justice and more about what she does. Let's find out more about that then, shall we get into that conversation?
We as a key population in a key pop group in the unit, in the CEM unit, we do HIV testing, we do blood pressure checking, we do blood sugar testing, we do TB screenings, we do STI screenings, and also we do pregnancy tests. We reach out to our key population in our communities, which is our older people, also our LGBTQI persons, and also our young people. And also we reach out to our vulnerable, which is our trackers in our communities. We have 4 trained testers in our project, which they went out with our community action teams, which we call the CATs. We do the mobilization for the team when they go out to do HIV testing in our communities. What we do is we go out to communities, we offer them the test, as I said previously, and we also do educational talks, giving and There's some uncertainty questions that the community asks. And also what we do, since the COVID started, we didn't interact much in the community because of the risk of COVID. So the team members went out and helped at our vaccination center, and I'm also helping out at our Department of Health call center. What I'm doing at the call center, we phone the patients that has been tested positive for COVID, and also we see that they have safe space isolating, and also we give them the dates until when they should be in their isolation. And also what we do, we see that if there's anyone who would ask for a sick letter, we let the doctor sign and then we email it to them. If there's a need from one of the patients that has been tested, and the questions that they ask, and they tell us that there's a need for food, a Department of Health provide for them a package to the family if there's a need also. And what we also need, we answered frequently asked questions by the patient. At the call center, we found the patients that has been tested positive with their results. What we also offer them, if there is somebody who needs sick letters, we offer them, which has been signed by the doctor. We also offered if there's a need for food parcels. We do testings at workplace testings, and we do indoor testings. We also do testings at juvenile centers like Bonnytown, and also institutions like the CPUT.
So there we go. That was Anna Marie, an enrolled nurse at Sonke Gender Justice. Up next, we're going to be hearing from Priscilla and finding out more from her. She's a trainer at Sonke Gender Justice. Let's find out more about her role, and hear more about what she does at Sonke Gender Justice. Let's get into that.
I work with the Refugee Health and Rights Project. It's one of the projects under the Community Education and Mobilization Unit. And the overall goal of the project is to engage with refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants in the different settings to implement preventative activities to respond to the rising HIV and AIDS prevalence amongst this key population. The project also seeks to create awareness on the rights of migrants living in the Western Cape so that they can exercise their rights, access health services and social services in their communities. The work also seeks to address gender issues, which leads to the rise in HIV and AIDS amongst this key population. We do HIV testing services, we do condom distribution and demonstration, we do information, education and communication health talks, we do educational materials distribution, we do monthly community education support, mentorship and capacity buildings, and we work with other partner organizations and community-based organizations in the areas. So community action team members are like volunteers to the organization, and some of them are recruited during workshops that we do, some of them are recruited during trainings, and we do capacitate them on the work that Sonke does, especially the HIV work. And the CAT members do assist us during HIV testing services. They do mobilize community members to come for HIV testing. They do condom distribution, they distribute information, they do information, education and communication talks. They also distribute educational health materials during the activity. And HIV testing services, we take these services to communities that we have lots of refugees, asylum seekers and migrants. So the HIV testing services that we do in communities, we take these services to community members. Communities where we find lots of refugees, asylum seekers and migrants. Remember, lots of refugees, asylum seekers and migrants do feel that they are being discriminated at health facilities. So when we take these services to them, a lot of them are coming to access these services. And most of them have even appreciated the work that we do in these communities because they do not have the time to go sit on long queues in health facilities to access this service. It has been very challenging, especially during the pandemic COVID-19. We started implementing activities on a skeletal basis in order to curb the spread of the virus. So we were doing like 2 days in the communities, and we embarked on indoor testing. So we have been testing with partner organizations like Adonis Mosati. We have also been testing in the higher institutions, the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, where we do HIV testing services. We do testing for blood pressure, sugar diabetes, and pregnancy. We screen for TB, sexually transmitted infections, gender-based violence, mental health, and referrals, amongst others.
So there we go. Thank you to Priscilla. Up next, we're going to hear from Fridolin Boyson, who's community education and mobilization, and also the Western Cape Provincial Manager at Sonke Gender Justice. Let's hear more from Fridolin and hear what she has to say.
In our unit, you can say we're the face of the organization because we're in the communities where the challenges really are. So we would do gender-based violence work, and that could be in the form of workshops, it could be trainings, it could be IEC talks, it could be material distribution, it can be condoms. So there's a variety of activities that the unit doesn't get involved with. We also work with partners, organizations on the field. We work with churches. We work with different departments, and the list can go on, because we know whoever you are as an organization, you cannot work on your own. You have to collaborate within the communities where you are. So we have 3 projects that focus on HIV, because I want to zoom in a little bit on our HIV work. We have the Refugee Health and Rights Project. We have the Wellness Center in Gooks, and then we have a Key Population Project. So the organization get money from the Department of Health to do HIV testing and counseling services, and this service are taken to communities. We know that some of the health facilities cannot keep up with the demand of communities coming into their centers, and part of what we do is to make sure we take some of the services to the communities. At times you can have a community person that gets up at 4 o'clock, and that's no guarantee that the person will get the service that they seek at the health facility. So that's one of the reasons that we do the work that we do. So our HTS campaigns look at providing diabetic services. They do blood pressure, we do HIV testing, we can have pregnancy tests. At times we can also have STI strips, and then we also have other screenings like your STIs, your TBs. And we do this door to doors, or we put up a gazebo in the middle of a community, and we just get people to come and get testing for the different services that we provide. So in our wellness center, the focus is on men. So it's about men's health and wellness. At the center is run by men. We have a coordinator that's a male, we have the male nurse, we have HIV testers that is male, and then we have men's support groups, we have ex-offender support groups, and HIV service is part of what is happening at the Wellness Center. Then at our Refugee Health and Rights Project, the focus is on refugees, migrants, and non-South Africans. And again, it's the service that's taken to this target group, because we know even with non-South Africans, there's a lot of discrimination against non-South Africans, as well as at times when people seek services, they don't have access to those services. So Sonke goes into the communities where refugees are at, and we provide that service, but also teach them about their health rights. And then with the Key Population Project, we do the same service, but in the communities and the areas where we work. One of the things that I would like to add is that HIV is still a huge problem within our communities and in our country. Although we see so many people onto treatment, but we still have high transmission rates, especially amongst young people. And there's still a lot of discrimination, there's issues around access, so there's still a lot of work that needs to be done about HIV and AIDS, and the country needs to prioritize the importance of having to educate communities and our young people around HIV and AIDS. In terms of gender-based violence, it's a huge problem within our communities. We saw with the latest statistics for April 2021 to June 2021 that 10,006 people were raped. So that talks about the volumes of the work and collaboration that needs to be done around gender-based violence. COVID really hampered the work around HIV, and there was an increase in gender-based violence. And because the unit is working within communities, we could not fully work in communities because we also wanted to limit COVID transmission amongst the staff. So we had to reinvent ourselves. So some of the things that we started doing was do education around COVID. We have a nurse that is placed with the Department of Health that is working at the COVID call center. And we also have some of our community mobilizers that's working at the vaccination sites.
So Sonke Gender Justice has been around for many years doing some amazing work. And they are a non-profit organization, meaning that they rely on your funds, my funds, to survive in order to continue the great work that they are doing. So please make sure that you are finding out more details about Sonke Gender Justice. You can go to genderjustice.org.za, or simply go and check out their social media pages. You'll find them on Facebook, Sonke Gender Justice NGO, on Twitter at Sonke Together, and of course, genderjustice.org.za is their website. Now, gender-based violence, violence against, women, children, people of, all genders really, it's something that we should be speaking about all the time. And there should be a voice to be able to do that. And Sonke Gender Justice is that voice. Find out more details about what they're doing. Go and support the great work that they are doing. And, let 16 days of activism against the abuse of women, children, people with disabilities, any violence against people, may it be every single day. May we be talking about that every single day, not just 16 days of the year, not just on Women's Day, not just on Mandela Day, that we're talking about it all the time. Because people's lives are affected on a day-to-day basis, not just on certain times of the year. So if you're in a position to support the work that Sonke Gender Justice are doing, please do. Because we do need that voice in society. We do need that organization to go and knock on Parliament's door, to go and knock on the mayor's door, wherever it may be, and say, listen, we want change. We want to be the voice for the people. We want this bill changed. We want that to be changed. Change is important. Change is inevitable. But it takes support. It takes an organization like Sonke Gender Justice to be that voice in society. And they have been for many years. An organization that I fully support of the great work that they are doing. So, but they need our support. They need your support. So please make sure that you are getting involved. 1 rand, 2 rand, 10 rand, whatever you can give. It all makes a difference. Or even if you want to volunteer your time, volunteer your skills, do some fundraising, whatever it may be, get involved with what they're doing. Genderjustice.org.za is their website. Facebook, Sonke Gender Justice NGO, and Twitter at Sonke Together. Let's stand together and hold hands and say enough is enough. No to gender-based violence. Today, tomorrow, and every day. Let's work together to make that a reality in our lifetime. It's either we have to say that we have to say that like that. We can't do it. It's up to all of us and support the work that Sonke Gender Justice are doing.
Another pandemic is raging in our country.
Freedom cannot be achieved unless the women have been emancipated.
So there we go. Thank you to the ladies for sharing their stories, sharing their roles at Sonke Gender Justice, and make sure that you are getting involved with the great work that Sonke Gender Justice are doing. Find them on their social media pages, check out their website, get involved, whether it be physically, whether it be by donating, whatever it may be. Of course, they do rely on your support, whatever form that may be. So get involved, support the great work that they are doing, and let's continue talking about justice for people, for women, children, and just to support the work that Sonke Gender Justice is doing. And as I said, get into 16 days of activism against the abuse of women and children. It should be every day. I mean, we see this coming and going every year. The same thing, the same message. Maybe it has a different theme every year, but it's nothing much really changes. Sometimes people don't know their rights of what they can do and what they can't do. Of course, you've got the normal criminal court, which you can go to, but also there's the domestic court as well, where you can go and open an intellect to get a protection order and things like that, which will help you to protect you if you are in a situation where you are being abused or anything like that, and you think that your life is in danger. Those are the outlets that you can go to, the domestic court, and get support there. Police, of course, you can talk to them as well. I know that they've got dedicated police officers that do deal with that as well. Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not, but just keep on pushing on and getting that justice that you deserve. So never stop in that pursuit of justice. All right. Another great episode. Make sure that you are interacting with Sonke Gender Justice. As I said, find them on their social media pages, and also go and check out the website, go and check out the great work that they are doing, and please support that. All right. I'm Stephen Taylor. I'll catch you back next time, same place. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of the show.
Joined by Sonke Gender Justice Network.
What we always say about our police is that people are scared to be victimized.
Part of our advocacy is to say to government that the high rates of gender-based violence in South Africa are unacceptable.
We are sending that message.